it's going to open up Pandora's box. But I will say this. I do believe players that sign now, like Najee, should not be eligible now, but should have to sit out and come back in next year. It's just a slippery slope. And I agree with people like Tom Izzo. I don't like it at all.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Sometimes those coaches do get the axe regardless of what the owner said just a few short weeks ago. And sometimes, Joe, you can't have it both ways. Like a Jets fan, you probably want them to tank. They're doing a really good job of that by not even being competitive at this point. But at the same time, you sort of want it to be, yeah, we're not competitive winning games, but it looks like we have a future. We might have found our quarterback. We got a good foundation. Nothing is going right.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
I mean, they couldn't get the Arizona State coach to come out. They couldn't get the BYU coach to leave their job. I mean, it's just very odd, I feel, when we watch this whole thing play out and try and really understand what happened here with Michigan not being able to make some of the splashier hires that they thought they were going to be able to make.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Crosby has now left the team, by the way. He's pissed. Anyway, look at he's angry. He wants to play. He doesn't like what they're doing here. There's all sort of speculation.
This might be the final straw, George, for him there. Like, I don't know why he stays. Yeah, I know. The thing is, he's got a Raider freaking tattoo. Like, the guy loves the Raiders. Like, he really does love playing for the Raiders. But and now, like you said, he's not happy about this.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
It's a glorious Tuesday morning to rise and grind right with us on the SportsGrid Network. It's the Early Line. It's Donnie Rightside, and it's Joe Ranieri. And over the next 2 hours, you know the drill. We got you covered on all the latest topics that you need to know. So when you step up to that water cooler, you will be more informed. We got playoff football this week, as you know, Thursday and Friday night in college football. And then this weekend's NFL extravaganza, 2 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday, and 1 Monday night football game, and a lot of basketball mixed in between. And the topics yesterday of Black Monday started up quickly right when we got off of the air. Joe Ranieri, today should be an energized day for the boys, no?
Yeah, well, it's certainly energized for a lot of fan bases around the country here, Donnie, in the NFL. But word of caution, be very careful what you wish for. That's for sure.
Some lines are moving there in both college football and the professional ranks, getting ready for this wild card weekend. And thank goodness they're calling it Super Wild Card Weekend anymore. The hottest topic of the day, time to get caffeinated, Joe. What are we talking about?
Well, Donnie, we just saw it again, the most savage day on the NFL calendar, Black Monday. And yesterday, like every year, fans celebrated this day like, well, it's a holiday. They think firing the coach is the magic pill that will somehow turn a pumpkin into a carriage. Yeah, no. Let me tell you something. For most of these franchises, firing the coach is just hitting the reset button on a broken console. Because we already saw the Giants and the Titans pull the plug midseason. Yesterday, we had 4 more teams join the party. The Cardinals, who, by the way, their coach, Gannon, or former coach Gannon, it was his birthday on Sunday. What did he get yesterday for his birthday? A pink slip. The Falcons, the Browns, and, of course, the Las Vegas Raiders all decided that it is time to move on and look for some new blood. And, folks, we have to talk about the Raiders here. They are the undisputed heavyweight champions of total dysfunction. And trust me, as a New York Jets fan, I usually walk around with a paper bag over my head. Ask Donnie. He understands here. But nothing gives me greater pleasure than looking at the Las Vegas Raiders and saying, phew, at least we're not them. The Raiders, who fired Pete Carroll, the man who is 74 years old that you hired, for some reason off the couch last year, well, he qualifies for early bird specials now, and the Raiders decided he was the guy that would lead them to a 3-14 record. And then kicked him to the curb after one season. But did they clean house totally? Of course not. They kept their general manager, the guy that oversaw the hiring of Pete Carroll in the first place. And now they have Tom Brady playing shadow GM. Good luck with that. They fired their offensive coordinator, who they made the highest paid OC in the NFL just last year. Now they fired him. Their quarterback, Geno Smith, led the league in interceptions. And now they're looking for their fifth head coach since 2021. It's not a football team. It's a reality show with helmets, folks. So to all the fans out there screaming for your coach to be fired, be careful what you wish for. The Falcons are the only ones truly cleaning house and starting fresh, Donnie. Everyone else, they're just rearranging the decks the chairs on the deck of the Titanic. Remember, dysfunction starts at the top. If the owner is a mess, if the GM is a mess, the coach doesn't matter. So to those delusional fan bases around the NFL, I'm talking to you Steelers and Raven fans who want a coaching change, remember, the devil you know is usually better than the one you don't, Donnie.
And also understand this, what Joe's pointing out. Look, there's a track record for teams and organizations with success. Is it any surprise that stable organizations and non-meddling owners win NFL championships? And then you look at some of these franchises, I don't know, like the Cleveland Browns, who just can't get out of their way. And you say, boy, I wonder what that is. Or, the Carolina Panthers, I wonder why they can't win a Super Bowl at this point. Look no further than the ownership. The fish rots at the head. It's the way it's always been here. The early lineup here, let's talk about Kevin Stefanski and some of the hottest topics. He's out in Cleveland. How long he's going to be out of work? Probably only for a few days, the way it's looking right now. Stefanski out, but this is one of those organizations that says, okay, we had a coach, multi-time coach of the year. Why didn't we have more success? I don't know, maybe your owner's like, you know what? Let's go force my general manager and coach to take on the worst contract in the history of professional sports in Deshaun Watson. That's what you get. Stefanski's out of a job. Not for long, though.
No, they won't. I mean, maybe the most crazy thing that I learned yesterday is that the dude is just 43 years old. My goodness, look at what a couple of years in Cleveland will do for you, Donnie. Look like he's aged unbelievably there. And trust me, he will be unemployed for, T-minus 48 hours or so, Donnie. He will find a job this cycle, now that especially there are so many job openings around the NFL.
The best NBA player that we've probably ever seen in our lifetimes or any lifetimes is Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is a horrible general manager and a horrible owner, which is why now he probably sold down because, look, I just can't win at this. It's driving me crazy. Tom Brady's the best football player I've ever seen in my lifetime, and the rings show you that, and the MVPs. Tom Brady is now officially horrible at running an NFL franchise. Did he think he was making all those moves last offseason? Because now, you know what? Pete Carroll, he's been sent to the sideline, and rightfully so. Bad quarterback move, bad draft pick, and also just having a bad head coach. That's a recipe for disaster. Is there a reason that we never see the Oakland/Vegas Raiders win championships? Horrible ownership. That also includes Tom Brady.
It goes down a list. I mean, it starts at the top. And now you're putting Band-Aids on heart surgery, and you think by bringing in names like Tom Brady that's somehow his proven track record as running a franchise. Like, come on, what are we doing? You're expecting good things to happen from bad teams that have never gotten it right. I mean, how many new coaches now since 2021, Donnie? They should have kept Aaron Pierce at this point.
It's true. And by the way, the portal is open here, and guys are making changes to teams and then saying, I'm going to change my team again here. Kenny Minchie, ever heard of that name here? For quarterback, I believe, going from now Nebraska, which he said he wanted to play for it. Now he's going to play for Kentucky all within about 24 hours. Must be nice.
Welcome to the Wild, Wild West. And again, this is exactly what the NCAA wants. They want total dysfunction so then they can go in front of Congress and others and be like, see, this is what you handcuffed us. We need an antitrust. I'm telling you, this is all being planned here, Donnie, and it's going to blow up in mega fashion here over the next couple of years.
Yep, and I sit here and say, I can't believe they're going to pay these players. This is a disaster. They deserve to get paid. Well, now that they get paid, this is what the disaster has called. Most people that wanted them to get paid, you asked for it. Don't be mad at it this point. Montana State, exciting FCS championship game winner, Joe, which I believe you took the points in this game and also cashed in yesterday.
Yes, we did, Donnie, and one of the most epic overtime finishes that you will have seen in any sport this season. But kudos to Montana State finally getting over that hump. They lost in the national championship game last year. They come back and win it in overtime. Unbelievable game.
Live Golf and the PGA Tour. Sounds a lot like it right here. The WNBA says willing to work with the unrivaled president here. I don't know where this is going. I don't know who cares about these two sports, but I guess they're trying to broker a deal because it looks like the WNBA ain't going to be back for a while based on negotiations.
Yeah, I would not shock her because it's such a moneymaker, Donnie. I mean, I'm shocked they all can't come on to the same page with as much money as comes rolling in on that league. I'm shocked they're having a problem getting on the same page.
I mean, so I believe it said Unrivaled is going to start in a couple days, 3-on-3 league. God bless you if you watch that stuff, but I can't even imagine like that can even be a sport. It has to be a Ponzi scheme the way I view it here. Tua Tagovailoa, he was a Ponzi scheme for the Miami Dolphins. Who do we take? Tua Tagovailoa, Justin Herbert. Let's go Tua Tagovailoa. Dude can't play in cold weather. Dude's arm strength, I don't know where it went, but he's like, you know what? I'd be open to a fresh start. So would the Miami Dolphins. How about that?
Yeah, and which is why they benched you, because, yes, correct. Maybe sometimes a new change of scenery. And listen, if this was 5-6 years ago, Donnie, I'd have laughed. But maybe, I mean, with the resurgence, we've seen Sam Darnold, we've seen Daniel Jones. I mean, we've seen guys that couldn't get it done. It just wasn't a good fit. Coaching matters. The problem is there's only a handful of places with quality coaches that can actually help turn a dude's career around. I don't know, Tua. This might be the end, but at least you got your bag.
Don Mattingly in Philadelphia, the Dapper Don, baby. Let's go. We'll be right back after this short break.
Your boy now. Your boy.
LeBron James gets that news today. What is today?
Today's his birthday.
Oh, I'm sorry. The greatest birthday gift that LeBron James has ever gotten is the reality, the smack in the face that he's no longer an all-star.
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
He's out again. Anthony Davis is injured once again and is going to miss time with the Dallas Mavericks for a minor groin strain. Likely will miss a few games. And I don't even know what a few games is to Anthony Davis because Anthony Davis seems to always be missing time.
Pro Basketball Today. Only on SportsGrid.
I know exactly what Patriot Nation is screaming this morning. It's Drake May time. Give him the trophy. MVP. Stop it, please. Just sit down. Yes, Drake May has had a nice season. But let's be real. He has played a JV schedule of defenses. He is carving up the easiest slate of defenses in the NFL this season. Congratulations on your beatdown of the Jets.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
It's going to open up Pandora's box. But I will say this. I do believe players that sign now, like Najee, should not be eligible now, but should have to sit out and come back in next year. It's just a slippery slope. And I agree with people like Tom Izzo. I don't like it at all.
College Basketball Today. Only on SportsGrid.
You got it, you want it. It's NFL action. It's the wild card action you need. 2 games Saturday, 3 games Sunday, 1 game Monday Night Football. And here are the spread lines that you need to know. The Los Angeles Rams on the road to Carolina. They played all their starters against the Arizona Cardinals because they wanted to beat the Cardinals so they could get maybe the best matchup of the first round in their favor. Their road team, talking about the Rams, Joe, they're also a 10.5-point favorite across the board with a total of 46.5. Carolina, the home team, getting double digits here this weekend. What's your spread line for that first game on Saturday?
Well, I think this tells you everything, right? So we had the first game between these two. I think the Rams were right around a 10.5 point favorite in that one. And now here they are still sitting, Donnie, a couple of days now on the book, still sitting 10.5. The total hasn't moved much, 46.5 from the open, pretty much just that. But, this is going to be one of those situations where when you look at the offense of Carolina, you have to, yes, they beat the Rams there, but a lot of things went Carolina's way in that game. Don't forget, remember the monsoon that started in the second half of that game? And all of a sudden, Matt Stafford started throwing the ball to the other team. They had fumbles. They were turning the ball all over. A lot of things went well for Carolina. Otherwise, if they played like they did in the first half, they're likely winning that game and covering it. The market is telling you there's no difference here, but the chance of Carolina getting all of those breaks and all that variance working their way, likely not going to happen. This is a team, Donnie, that just spent all season long, and they have a minus 69 point differential. Think about that. Minus 69, and they are in the postseason. Yes, they're a double-digit dog for a reason.
That's why they put that game on Saturday. We'll just be excited for football, and this probably is a clunker of the weekend, at least we anticipate at this point. But again, you're not handicapping there based on, let me take a money line on the Rams. You're handicapping based on, can the Carolina Panthers stay within the 10.5 points? Game number 2 on Saturday, night game. It's going to be a good one. We just saw this a few weeks ago with a lot of injuries to both of these teams. Green Bay is going to take on Chicago. Depending on where you're shopping at, 1.5 to 1 point favorite for the Green Bay Packers, 1 to 1 point favorite for the Chicago Bears, a virtual toss-up, and a total of 45.5. Not terrible weather conditions, Joe, but typical for this time of the year in Chicago. 30 degrees here with a little bit of wind, 10 to 12 miles per hour. Love is expected to be the starter coming off a concussion. The Chicago Bears played all of their starters last week in a loss to the Detroit Lions. Green Bay sat their starters last week. What's your spread line here?
Well, we're hovering around a pick. It's kind of bounced back and forth in a couple of spots where Green Bay is -1, then it's a pick, then a couple of spots. You've got the Bears. Any which way you cut it, the fact that the Bears are the 2 seed, playing a 7 seed, and they are at home, and they are only a pick 'em at best, what does that tell you about the market believing in this Chicago Bears team? What it means is things could go off the rails rather quickly in this game. Not to mention division rival who likely should have beat them twice. I still don't know how Green Bay lost that last game to the Chicago Bears. But you're not going to get a lot of line movement, I think, one way or the other. So if you're hoping for a key number here, Donnie, we're not going to get it. So whatever money line on the team you think is going to win this game is going to be your best path here.
Yeah, taking a look at some of those ticket counts, you're still heavily favored in Chicago's direction. We'll see how that one plays out. If we move it to Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock, a great football game to start. That's the Buffalo Bills and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Josh Allen versus Trevor Lawrence. Jaguars, one of the hottest teams in the NFL. But how about this? The Buffalo Bills on the road opened up as a 1.5 point favorite, Joe. We still sit at 1.5 despite only about 35 to 40% of the tickets coming in on the Buffalo Bills. It is a disrespectful number to the Jaguars, but you always like to say, the reason why these numbers are here. What's your spread line for this game between Buffalo and Jacksonville?
Well, you can feel slighted all you want, Jags. You have 4 losses on the season. Do you know who they were against? Let me lay them out for you. Seattle, the Rams, Houston, and a Joe Burrow team that he was still on it in week 2, and they smoked you. You know what Seattle, the Rams, and Houston have in common? They're all playoff teams, which means you, along with the Patriots, had one of the best schedules and one of the easiest schedules to take advantage of, and you did. Kudos. But that doesn't mean every time you've stepped up in class, you've lost. And the Bills are a step up in class. So they are a favorite, Donnie, for a reason.
How about this game? San Francisco and Philadelphia opening line numbers around 3. No longer the case. They're up to 4.5 because the 49ers continue to lose football players in games, which includes their backup to backup linebacker here. So I don't know who's playing for the 49ers on defense, but the one thing the Eagles did get right last week, they rested their players. Every single starter outside of Andrew Makuba will be ready, active, which includes Lane Johnson, the best right tackle in football. This line now sits at a 4.5 and a total of 44.5. The banged-up Niners come 3,000 miles east to take on the Eagles on Sunday afternoon, Joe. What's your spread line here?
Well, we saw a whole lot of money come in on Seattle throughout the week when they were playing San Francisco, and San Francisco was at home there. And I think that told us what the market thought here, as they were a home dog. And now they got to travel to the defending champs to go up against another elite defense. And the 49ers are a team that they were great against mediocre teams all year. The offense looked like they could drop 40 on anybody unless they have a quality and elite defense, which Seattle did last week and the Eagles do. And having to go on the road, I don't think this is ever getting back to the key number 3. It's hovering around 3.5. There are 4s popping in. And Donnie, I'd be shocked if any 49er money comes in before kickoff. I think it's going to be all Eagles in this one.
How about this? Duke and Louisville tonight, teeing it up in college basketball at Louisville tonight. ACC battle. The line opened up, depending where you're shopping, at -1.5 or so for Louisville. That's now flipped over to Duke as a 1.5-point favorite. Duke with a lot of ticket count, 75% here. How do we see this game shaping up, and what's your spread line, Duke Louisville tonight?
Well, these are the two of the best in the ACC, Donnie, that we are going to get to see battling here. It's interesting. I get the Duke money coming in to flip it, but on the road is going to be very interesting in conference play. I think there's Louisville money coming back. If you can get plus money now, grab it, because I'm not sure Duke's going to go off as the favorite here tonight.
Duke had one loss this season, 82-81 on a neutral court to Texas Tech. We take a look at Louisville, Joe. They have 3 losses on the year. Arkansas, Tennessee, and Stanford elevated competition. And their most recent loss was on Friday, January the 2nd, to Stanford by 4 points on the road. College basketball, baby. It's the season. It's the time. Let's go back to the NFL. A lot of news and notes to die up here. We'll be right back.
LeBron James gets that news today. What is today?
Today's his birthday.
Oh, I'm sorry? The greatest birthday gift that LeBron James has ever gotten is the reality, the smack in the face that he's no longer an all-star.
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
He's out again. Anthony Davis is injured once again and is going to miss time with the Dallas Mavericks for a minor groin strain. Likely will miss a few games. And I don't even know what a few games is to Anthony Davis, because Anthony Davis seems to always be missing time.
Pro basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
I know exactly what Patriot Nation is screaming this morning. It's Drake May time. Give him the trophy. MVP. Stop it, please. Just sit down. Yes, Drake May has had a nice season, but let's be real. He has played a JV schedule of defenses. He is carving up the easiest slate of defenses in the NFL this season. Congratulations on your beatdown of the Jets.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
It's going to open up Pandora's box. But I will say this. I do believe players that sign now, like Najee, should not be eligible now, but should have to sit out and come back in next year. It's just a slippery slope. And I agree with people like Tom Izzo. I don't like it at all.
College basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
Black Monday in the NFL. I'm pretty sure we're going to probably have a Black Tuesday and a Black Wednesday with more people, including front offices, general managers, and head coaches being let go from the organizations because of failure to win on the football field. Understand this. A lot of times, a general manager and a head coach, you are just hired to be fired. It's a tough job in a high-leverage situation. It's rare that you have 10 and 15-year runs. Now, you take a look at the Cleveland Browns, and who would have thought that you'd have a 2-time Coach of the Year be let go? And also, still keep your general manager. And to me, Joe, I look at the general manager and the head coach really hand in hand. Like, I'm the GM, I picked this guy to be my head coach. Maybe get another head coach there, but also you have to be under scrutiny of some of the moves that you made, because the head coach typically has to use the GM's ingredients to try to whip up a nice meal, which includes a victory on the football field. But Kevin Stefanski is out of a job. We'll start there first for Cleveland. Do you agree with that? Because sometimes it is time for a change, but as you see the tweet also, Andrew Berry is staying. He's made some of the worst moves that you could possibly make, and he also is, quote-unquote, a bad general manager. Hey, we don't want Baker Mayfield anymore. Let's send him down the road. He's going to have success. Let's take on the worst contract in the history of professional sports. You, my friend, can stay at your job. The head coach, he's got to go.
Yeah, I mean, where else other than the Browns can you actually take the worst trade in the history of sports and make it into some sort of promotion and then act as if you've nailed the quarterback spot? I mean, you're one of the best teams in the NFL. 27 starting quarterbacks for 13 seasons in charge. So, yay, Jimmy starts at the top. The worst part about the Browns is they have no self-awareness. Jimmy Haslam thinks he's actually got things heading in the right direction, and they have you keep the GM, but you fire Stefanski because he's the make it make sense, Donnie, please.
It doesn't make any sense. And again, here's the product of your environment. Like, we don't have like a relegation where it's like, oh, Cleveland gets relegated to Division II NFL football, and therefore their franchise goes from $6 billion to $1 billion overnight. We don't have that. You could be as bad as you want. You can make the stupidest decisions. You could be a terrible owner, and every single year you just continue to print money. That Adam Schefter tweet, the quarterbacks post Baker Mayfield in Cleveland. Take a look at that, Ross. Like, what are you expecting the head coach to do? And also, it's not as if you're taking flyers like, hey, we picked up Justin Fields for 2 years and $40 million. Deshaun Watson had a $250+ million guaranteed contract and gave them nothing. That's what your general manager did. But also understand this in professional sports. Meddling owners like Jimmy Haslam, they get protected by general managers, and you have to own the score. I'm going to come into that room. I want you to take all the shrapnel. This was your decision to take this quarterback. I know it was mine, but publicly it's going to be on you. And therefore, I'll keep you around because you are the guy I want to take all those arrows. That's probably what happened in Cleveland. Hey, Jimmy, I don't think we should take Deshaun Watson. Don't worry. I want him here. If it falls out and doesn't work, I'm going to get the credit as an owner, but you're going to fall on the sword as the GM if it doesn't work out. That's what happens. That's big business as we go on now. What's next for Cleveland? Who knows?
Yeah. He kept him. But then he's got the nerve with a straight face to tell us, at least he found us a kicker. What? What are you talking about, Jimmy Haslam? Are you out of your mind? Please. Congrats. I guess if you fall on the sword, maybe you get a little an extra life, and that's what Andrew Berry did by pulling off that Watson trade for him.
And how about this? Kevin Stefanski shoots to the leader to be the next head coach of the New York Giants on Couch. He is at a 30% chance right now. Favorite over Mike McCarthy, Jeff Hafley, John Harbaugh, if he gets let loose, and Clint Kubiak, offensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. Stefanski, the hot name on the market right now. Why? Because he's on the market right now.
Exactly. And so now if I'm Tomlin or if I am Harbaugh, please fire me. Okay, please fire. They will be unemployed for all of 30 seconds. Stop it here. I would really like to see what Stefanski can do with a legit quarterback, an actual prospect that could be an NFL franchise quarterback. They have one in New York. If you gave me Stefanski as a retread or, McCarthy, who are you taking, Donnie?
Yeah, I'm not taking. I'll tell you what now. I'm not taking Mike McCarthy, so we'll leave it at that. As long as they don't go Mike McCarthy, like okay, or Joe Judge, you know what I mean? Then we'll be okay for the Giants as it adds. They need an offensive coordinator with an offensive mind. Just make the smart one, not the relic here. Get the smart one here. Ari Miro sent a tweet out yesterday. The OC Matt Nagy of the Chiefs is now being requested for an interview with the Titans. By the way, the Titans had maybe the worst, 2 to 3 year stretch of a general manager / ownership group / head coach. Like when they had Callahan, it's like, who is this guy and why did you hire him? Exactly. He got blown out quickly there. And also now looking at Raheem Morris, I don't trust anything the Titans do, but they did restructure their front office. That should be great.
Well, listen, if I am Raheem Morris, I am calling up Carolina and be like, you know what I did for you, right? Like it's like you're not in the postseason if I don't beat New Orleans. You got a job opening. He will likely be a DC somewhere sooner rather than later than a head coach.
Again, fathers passing away as owners, handing it down to their family. It does not work out. We'll be right back. More NFL news and notes.
maybe the fact was that the kicker just blew a 44-yard field goal. Now, by the way, I feel horrible for this kid, Tyler Loop, who made every single field goal this season 44 yards or less. But the extra point that was missed just before that by Chris Boswell was the only extra point that he missed all season long. So did they bless that same holy water when Boswell missed the extra point? Come on, guys. Let's get it.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Sometimes those coaches do get the axe regardless of what the owner said just a few short weeks ago. And sometimes, Joe, you can't have it both ways. Like a Jets fan, you probably want them to tank. They're doing a really good job of that by not even being competitive at this point. But at the same time, you sort of want it to be, yeah, we're not competitive winning games, but it looks like we have a future. We might have found our quarterback. We got a good foundation. Nothing is going right.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
It's going to open up Pandora's box, but I will say this. I do believe players that sign now, like Najee, should not be eligible now, but should have to sit out and come back in next year. It's just a slippery slope. And I agree with people like Tom Izzo. I don't like it at all.
College basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
LeBron James gets that news today. What is today?
Today's his birthday.
Oh, I'm sorry? The greatest birthday gift that LeBron James has ever gotten is the reality, the smack in the face that he's no longer an all-star.
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
Oh, the Jets, man. They were so bad this year. They were giving interviews outside the stadium, putting mics up to kids like, look, I'm always going to be a Jets fan. I was born into this. I hate this team. And then you even had little kids getting their heart broken. The one thing that kid could hold on to is that he had Sauce Gardner he could watch every week, and now he doesn't have Sauce Gardner that he can watch every week. But we do have draft capital for the Jets, but understand this. Sometimes you just want to sit down on a Sunday, on your couch on a Sunday, pop open a beer, order pizza, and say, let me just enjoy my favorite team, get away from the world for 3 hours. You couldn't do that as a Jets fan. Look at this Rich Cimini tweet. An eye-opener, he says. The Jets trailed by double digits for 53.1% of their offensive plays this season, the highest percentage by any team this century. The only other teams at 50% or higher are the 2011 Bucks and the 2000 Cardinals via ESPN research. Like, you couldn't even enjoy these games, but understand one thing. There was a directive given to this team midway through the season. Don't you dare improve your draft position. They aced that mission so well that now they're like, should we get rid of our coach because he was that bad? You asked him to lose, and he lost and didn't keep it close. Maybe there's a future there. Who knows?
Everything you need to know about the Jets happened yesterday when literally not one player showed up for the exit interviews. Like not one. Breece Hall got in, got out, cleaned out his locker room before anyone in the media could see. Garrett Wilson actually never showed up in the locker room. Like the reporters were waiting for anybody to talk to, and none of the Jet players showed up to give any of the interviews. So that tells you everything you need to know on how swimmingly things went this season for the New York Jets. But at least they have the capital, and all of this will be water under the bridge if you nail the draft. And that is a 50-50 proposition.
Exactly. How about Russell Wilson? One last parting gift there to the Giants. And by the way, he came on Twitter or social media to explain that it wasn't the Giants' fault. But how about this? Tore his hamstring on the last play of a practice before week 2 against Dallas. Didn't tell anybody, and didn't work out so well in their favor either for Russell Wilson at this point. NFL investigation, because we as handicappers would like to know if a player has a torn hamstring before they play a football game, specifically a quarterback.
Don't worry about it. He's going to be the new quarterback of the Raiders, I believe. Tom Brady will bring him in because, yes, Brady sees something. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, bring him back in. I am sure he'll be on a sideline somewhere. For what reason, I have no idea, but you know, the state of quarterbacks in the NFL ain't great here, Donnie. We know that.
No, certainly not. By the way, quick little handicap update there. Los Angeles Rams and the Carolina Panthers. We did a little bit on this a little bit earlier in the show. Weather conditions for this game, Joe. Taking a look at that. It's not too bad. 68 degrees, but there is some precipitation now getting into the forecast. And we know that last game worked out. Hey, Rams should win this easy. Fumbles, interceptions later. You don't have a victory and a win for the Carolina Panthers. They're getting double digits, Joe. Does that weather concern you looking maybe on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? Because if there's rain in the forecast, it gives me a little bit of pause. Does it you?
Well, listen, any of these games that have, teams playing in conditions they're not used to. And I think maybe the biggest one to keep an eye on, Donnie, is the Houston and Pittsburgh game. What is the weather going? Because don't forget, Houston's an indoor defense. They are much better at home indoors than they have been on the road. Now you throw in 8-degree temperatures and 20-mile-an-hour wind. Make sure you know what the weather is going to be in Pittsburgh for that Monday kickoff.
Good point. It's a good point here. Let's talk some MVP awards. And I'm telling you, I might be the leader of the forefront. I hope we have Adam Kaufman on the show a little bit later on, because this is one where I can't get around it. You are supposed to, as a coach, look out for your players. Now, if it's a game where you have to win, which theoretically New England had to win, but this wasn't hey, man, it's 16-15 entering into the fourth quarter. We just can't worry about Drake May's statistics for an MVP. We got to win this to keep up. I understand. That game was a blowout from jump to start, and the Dolphins told you it was going to be a blowout by saying, look, Waddle's not playing, Tua's not playing in this football game, not even Devon Achane is going to play in this football game. We're going to roll over for this, okay? And yet you don't pad some stats for Drake May while the Rams understood, hey, Matthew Stafford, you're one of the best quarterbacks to ever do it. And we hang an MVP on your mantle. Every chance we get in this game, which we have to win as well, we're going to let you throw touchdown passes. You went from a minus 500 or so as a favorite for Drake May before entering into Week 18 for the MVP at certain outlets here. Now you take a look at this graphic. Matthew Stafford is a minus 175 favorite to win MVP, and Drake May is now a plus 140. It's rare you get chances to win an MVP, and when you have a layup game that your coach can call just a few passing plays inside the 5-yard line to pad those stats and have you win it, and you don't do it, I think it's a terrible look for Mike Vrabel. I just do, Joe. What are your thoughts on this now?
Can we get a dual MVP? Can we get a co-MVP? Have we ever had a co-MVP?
AFC, NFC?
I mean, in the AFC we have two MVPs. We got we got MVPs every. I mean, come on, you knew it was happening too. Watching it go on, it was just that they had so much success running the ball. New England did against Miami, where it was just and then Miami kept scoring and keeping the game close. It was unfortunate the way it unfolded, but there was no doubt that McVay and company. He was going to play the majority of that game regardless, and racked up 4 touchdowns in the process. Not a rushing 4 touchdown passes inside the red zone for touchdowns. That is how you do it, and that is experience with McVay for you.
Understand the task at hand and what you have, right? And what keeps it up. Right. If the player and the coach agree to it, if you sit the game out entirely, that's one thing. But if the guy is playing, it's on you to make sure that you put him in the best possible position here to win awards. Not to win awards hey, Rookie of the Year, which is a great one. MVP, man. That goes on your mantle. That's sometimes the difference in making the Hall of Fame or not making the Hall of Fame, or making your career not hey, man, that guy won the MVP. That's a special award. Because if you would have sat Drake May in Week 18 and didn't win it, I look at it completely different. Hey, Drake May understands the task. Playoffs are more important. But he played. And damn near played the entire game until it was a 4-touchdown blowout at that point. Just interesting. We'll see how this turns out, because it was Drake May's to win, and now it's not his to win, and it's not his fault. It's coach's fault in some of the play calling here. Green Bay and Chicago.
Is it Vrabel or McDaniel, though? Who are we blaming? Is it Vrabel or McDaniel? You're blaming Vrabel. Okay.
It's a very good point you bring up on that, because the end-all be-all is who wants to play, who doesn't want to play. It's on the coach. But don't you have those meetings during the week? We're not fish out of water where it's 15 years ago where it's legalized gambling isn't here. How do we even know who's winning the MVP award race? Everybody talks, everybody understands. When you come in that final week, hey, Stephon Diggs, 30 yards out there, that's going to get you $500,000. Look, you're going to play in this game. We'll make sure to get that to you. And by the way, they didn't even do that let's go 3 or 4 slants to begin the game to get you to 30 yards. Like, he actually had to go to like one of the last drives in the third quarter of a blowout to get those points. But it's understandable. Like, you take care of the players that are going to take care of you as a head coach. Now, if there weren't any numerical numbers that Drake, man, I got to get you 2 touchdown passes, that'll get you here.
Right.
But just the simple fact is, you know the guy's up for MVP. You know what would look better than Trayvon Henderson running in touchdowns inside the 5-yard line or having a wildcat formation at the 1? How about a pick play 1 yard out for Drake May? He goes, hey, man, I threw for 198 yards and 3 touchdowns. Give me my MVP. They didn't do it. Like, that was interesting, but I do agree with you there. Who was to blame? It's a culmination, but ultimately, for me, leans with the head coach there. Head coach here played his starters last week and still lost butts. Still has the number 2 seed. That's Ben Johnson. And now they're going to take on the Green Bay Packers, who rested last week in a meaningless game for them. And now we see the Green Bay Packers as a favorite at the number 2 seed. Last time I saw this was the Philadelphia Eagles in 2017. Atlanta came to town as a favorite. Why? Because Carson Wentz wasn't the quarterback. The quarterback is still playing in Chicago. The number 2 seed against the 7 is a favorite. The 7 seed is a favorite, Joe.
Again, it speaks volumes, Donnie, as to what the market thinks about the Chicago Bears. And at this point, you're talking about a banged up Green Bay team, but they can be banged up all you want. Whether it's Malik Willis or it's Jordan Love going, they have already shown they can go toe to toe and they can beat the Chicago Bears. It feels like Green Bay they played better than their record says. And it feels like the market thinks Chicago is worse than what their record says.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I love it. It's wild card weekend. We have to worry about who's sitting, who's not sitting here, but you are going to have those implications now. Some teams rested their starters, some didn't. Like, it's one thing if Chicago had rested their starters and still won, or played their starters and still won. They played against a team dead in the water in Detroit that everybody's blasting, and they lost that game. That's got to be a little bit psychological disadvantage. The coach joins us next to talk some NBA.
Maybe the fact was that the kicker just blew a 44-yard field goal. Now, by the way, I feel horrible for this kid, Tyler Loop, who made every single field goal this season 44 yards or less. But the extra point that was missed just before that by Chris Boswell was the only extra point that he missed all season long. So did they bless that same holy water when Boswell missed the extra point? Come on, guys. Let's get it.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Sometimes those coaches do get the axe regardless of what the owner said just a few short weeks ago. And sometimes, Joe, you can't have it both ways. Like, a Jets fan, you probably want them to tank. They're doing a really good job of that by not even being competitive at this point. But at the same time, you sort of want it to be, yeah, we're not competitive winning games, but it looks like we have a future. We might have found our quarterback. We got a good foundation. Nothing is going right.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
It's going to open up Pandora's box. But I will say this. I do believe players that sign now, like Najee, should not be eligible now, but should have to sit out and come back in next year. It's just a slippery slope. And I agree with people like Tom Izzo. I don't like it at all.
College basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
LeBron James gets that news today. What is today?
Today's his birthday.
Oh, I'm sorry? The greatest birthday gift that LeBron James has ever gotten is the reality, the smack in the face that he's no longer an all-star.
The Craig Carden Show. Only on SportsGrid.
get to that action, people. It is the new year here, and yes, we're talking a lot of college football, Thursday, Friday game in the playoffs, and of course, we have Wild Card Weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday in the NFL, but the NBA steamrolling along here, sort of in those winter months before we really get that ramp up of the teams that will tank and the teams that will press forward and try to better themselves before they enter in the playoffs on the trade deadline. But how about this? It's Donnie right side, it's Joe Ranieri. We bring in the coach, James Young here. Talk some NBA action. I would like to talk a little Duke and Louisville, but the NBA is going to take precedent right now, Coach.
I don't know. Big matchup in the ACC. I will say this really quick. I will talk about it on my scouting report later. But I do like Duke in the matchup. It should be a good matchup. Teams evenly matched offensively and defensively according to metrics of KenPom. But where you get the difference with Duke is Duke has played 5 teams in the top 50 to KenPom. Louisville has played 2. 2 of they have played so far have been Indiana, who I think is overrated, and same with Kentucky. Battle tested. It's a money line pick. Go ahead and take Duke tonight.
There you go. We'll find out. The coach is chiming in here. But also, Coach, when we look at the NBA, it is about that money. And the NBA is going to have the China games for 2026. The Mavericks and the Rockets, they're going to play 2 preseason games at the Venetian Arena in Macau on Friday, October 9th and Sunday, October 11th. I know you're excited about this, Coach. Must-see TV, right?
Now, if they told me that they were playing this game at the Venetian in Vegas, then Coach Young would be pulling up. But I'm not taking a 19-hour flight to China and go play. This is all about the NBA and the almighty dollar of making as much money as possible. You think about sending Houston, it makes sense. Yao Ming, obviously his popularity still in China is tremendous. And then for Dallas, it's about one guy. And it ain't AD, because we don't know if he's going to be there. It ain't Kyrie. It's Cooper Flag, who is obviously one of the new superstars in the league. So it makes sense in a way, but I'm not too excited about it.
Well, are you excited that Trae Young looks like he's going to be on the market here? God, I mean, he plays well at the Garden. Could the Knicks be in play, or should we just ship him off to the Wizards where he belongs?
Nothing like Joe Ranieri trying to rage bait me on Knicks on a 4-game losing streak, losing by 30 last night in Detroit as a way to get Trae to New York. But guys, all seriousness, I said this on Pro Basketball Today, the season premiere. I said that Trae Young had more pressure than anybody in the NBA in the Eastern Conference side because they kept switching the deck, whether it was Lloyd Pierce, Nate McMillan, or Quinn Snyder as coach, whether it's DeJounte Murray here or there, DeAndre Hunter here or there, Capella gone. They kept moving the deck around. So when he got hurt and then Jalen Johnson stepped his game up, Okongwu stepped his game up. You moved Dyson Daniels, the Great Barrier Reef, to the point guard spot and had Nickeil Alexander-Walker as your 2. All of a sudden, this team plays a lot better without Trae. So I'm not stunned that this is happening. I'll be curious to see if they can get this done by the trade deadline. And still, the biggest chip that Atlanta has going forward is not what they get back for Trae, it's what they've already got. It's that trade with New Orleans, in which Derek Queen moved up to go to the Pelicans, and they have an unprotected first-round pick. Atlanta is actually set up for the future, and it's time they find Trae a new home.
Yeah, and again, if it's in Washington, it's like the Guantanamo Bay, like the NBA. Like, if you go there, you might just disappear. Like, you're in tight. Like, I've never met a Wizards fan in my life, a Bullets fan in my life. I don't think I've ever seen the Wizards win live on national TV. Matter of fact, I don't think the NBA even lets the Wizards even on national TV. One of the most irrelevant franchises you're going to find over the past 25 years. Send the superstar there. He's no longer a superstar at that point here. But by the way, let's talk about those New York Knicks. James Dolan goes, we're going to raise the banner. We're going to raise that NBA championship banner. That's how it's going to go down here. Coach, come on, man. Tough talk from the owner. It's like, you know what? Knicks on a losing streak. Don't you worry. That banner's coming to MSG.
I have PTSD because you just said irrelevant franchise for 25 years. I thought you were talking about the Jets, to be honest with you. But when you talk about the Knicks, this has been another team that's been, let's be honest, relatively irrelevant until Jalen Brunson arrived. They're not playing well. You wonder if this is a little bit of a post part of winning the NBA Cup and the extra games. Cat does not look right. But, folks, they're missing Josh Hart. And when you lose these energy guys, and we're going to talk about another energy guy from the Clippers in a minute, that's where sometimes you kind of lose your way. They need to get Josh Hart back. They need to start playing better. Listen, at the end of the day, the Knicks, if they are healthy, are the best team in the Eastern Conference. The problem is they're not playing that way. They just lost by 30. Boston's on their heels right now in the Atlantic Division, and there's a bunch of other teams that could say in the playoffs, we think we can grind the game down, limit Jalen Brunson, and the Knicks do not defend the three-point line well.
Coach, Dolan, we know he's hilariously just terrible owner, but he doesn't usually say these he doesn't do a lot of interviews. He doesn't usually, he just really sent a message like, if you think we're going to spend any money improving this team, it's not going to happen. I mean, if you're a Knick, aren't you be like, all right, so I guess it's live or die with what we got. I don't know if they can make any moves, but he just put added pressure on his team, did he not?
Well, listen, pressure is up to the players, and they know the deal. They understand it. They were, if that comeback or that three-pointer by Tyrese Halliburton doesn't hit the back of the rim and go 50 feet up in the air in game one, the Knicks probably go to the NBA Finals. So all he's saying is we're there. We should be there. This also is all about a couple things. Number one, Leon Rose has kind of made that place eerie quiet. No one talks for management. That's why it's weird that Dolan kind of said something. But on the flip side, also, when you traded for Mikal Bridges, you lost all your draft capital. You don't have anybody to trade unless you move Cat to try and get a Giannis. The Knicks are kind of hamstrung the next couple of years. What they get is what they get, and what he wants is a championship.
Hey, Coach, quickly here. The Clippers forward Derek Jones Jr., grade 2 right MCL sprain reevaluation in 6 weeks. What's that mean for the Clips?
It means he's got this injury twice this year. Guess what?
Yeah.
Both times versus Boston. You see Boston next year? Just sit the kid.
Sit him out. We ain't sitting the coach out. He's going to be with us all throughout this NBA season. Take us to the break with a fadeaway jumper. Oh, looks good. The form looks good.
Great form in 26.
Yep.
It's going to open up Pandora's box. But I will say this. I do believe players that sign now, like Nanji, should not be eligible now, but should have to sit out and come back in next year. It's just a slippery slope. And I agree with people like Tom Izzo. I don't like it at all.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Sometimes those coaches do get the axe regardless of what the owner said just a few short weeks ago. And sometimes, Joe, you can't have it both ways. Like a Jets fan, you probably want them to tank. They're doing a really good job of that by not even being competitive at this point. But at the same time, you sort of want it to be, yeah, we're not competitive winning games, but it looks like we have a future. We might have found our quarterback. We got a good foundation. Nothing is going right.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Maybe the fact was that the kicker just blew a 44-yard field goal. Now, by the way, I feel horrible for this kid, Tyler Loop, who made every single field goal this season 44 yards or less. But the extra point that was missed just before that by Chris Boswell was the only extra point that he missed all season long. So did they bless that same holy water when Boswell missed the extra point? Come on, guys. Let's get it.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The Steelers get their touchdown, and they miss the extra point. It was Lamar Jackson who made the plays to get the Ravens into what should have been easy field goal territory. So explain to me how in the world we can look at last night's game as, well, there you go, can't trust Lamar Jackson.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Right back out of here on the early line, talking a little college basketball action as we go. And by the way, just had the coach talking there, a little bit quick preview on Duke and Louisville tonight. We'll get to that in just a few moments, but this is the season that I start to like it now, Joe. You have it in January. Football starting to wind down here. You can really focus midweek on some of these big-time games, and we have that now once we get into conference play.
Yeah, it's the best time of year, Donnie, because now it's all right. You got your non-conference stuff out of the way. Coaches have had an opportunity to shorten the rotations, figure out who's going to be playing what. Injuries have happened across the board to a bunch of top 25 teams. Can they weather the storm? But this is go time, right? This is the money time. What happens in conference play goes a long way to what's going to happen in March for sure.
March Madness round of 64 qualifiers to get in. We got a 99% chance on Marquette. By the way, they're not even offering you prices on some of the top teams in the country, like the Duke Blue Devils here. But now's the time we start to take a look at those net rankings and your quad victories and big-time wins on the road in conference play. We're almost at that time because before you know it, we'll be in the month of February. That means we're going to separate the men from the boys, and then we get to March Madness. And March Madness really starts at the end of February once we get to conference tournaments, Joe.
Yeah, it really does. It'll be here before we know it, Donnie, which makes a lot of these games that we're seeing now, these could very well be previews of what we're going to get in another month and a half, Donnie. And keep an eye on what's going on here. I mean, Duke, good. Nebraska won again last night on the road. Could they be the team to beat? So there's a lot can change in a very short period of time. But these matchups, these top 25 battles, like the one we're going to see here tonight, going to go a long way to seeing what's going to happen in another month. That's for sure.
Let's take a couple quick looks here at some of the better games tonight in the SEC. Georgia and Florida, 7 o'clock tip time. Opening number there, Joe, -7.5, as you'll see that graphic. But live right now on the show, -9.5 is a favorite towards Florida. 169.5, 168.5. You see on that graphic? It's now up to 173.5. Both of these teams quick. By the way, Georgia, average length of possession, number 2 in the country. They want to get up and down the court. But Florida, elite on defense, Joe. What are you thinking about this game? Too many points for Florida or no?
Well, I mean, it was interesting because the money that I've seen coming in has been on the total, which was below 170 to start, 168.5.
Was.
Now it's 173.5. And when you have that kind of tempo, and you will, because Florida will have no problem running as well, but Florida will have also a lot of opportunities to dominate the boards in this game, second chance opportunities. Listen, Georgia loves to run and shoot, doesn't always go in. But the one thing we can probably figure here tonight, points are coming in this game, Donnie. First one to 90 wins likely.
By the way, 2 elite offenses in the Yum Center tonight. That's Duke and it's Louisville. Louisville opened up around a -1.5 point favorite. You're now seeing across the board. Duke has now rallied to the favorite with a lot of ticket count on their side. The total up slightly, 161.5 or so overnight. We're now seeing 162.5 in the marketplace. Duke elite on offense and efficiency in the top 10. You know who's even more elite? It's actually Louisville's offense at number 4. Very good defenses. Duke gets the slight edge here. 2 really good teams in a virtual toss-up. Duke Louisville tonight in Louisville.
Yeah, top 50 in three-point shooting percentage defensively. Yeah. Duke as well. Teams only shooting 30% from three. Yep. And you got a Louisville team that attempts nearly 55% of its shots from three-point range. So this is going to be an interesting battle. But an injury concern for Louisville, Mikael Brown, who is their assist leader, he's their guard, he's their quarterback. It's kind of slowed this offense down here a little bit. The one thing I know for sure is Louisville, they are so good at home here. They're one of the best teams in the country at home. This is going to be an uphill battle for Duke tonight for sure.
Got a good one also, Texas Tech and Houston. We talk about Texas Tech. As we know, Duke's only loss of the season, a 1-point loss to Texas Tech on a neutral court site. Texas Tech's going to be in Houston tonight, and the favorite is Houston at -6.5 in a total of 141.5. That's up from that graphic of 139.5. We know Houston is elite on defense, top 5 in the country at turning it over. Did you know 24% of the possessions you have against Houston ends up in a turnover? Elite defending the three-point line. Elite inside the arc. They don't foul all that much, but here's the key indicator tonight. Can that defense certainly turn it on enough to maybe stay under the total, or does Texas Tech stay in that number tonight, Joe?
Yeah, well, listen, one thing I know is that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And in Houston in the first half, at home is an absolute ATM machine. They're laying 3.5. I like them to have the lead and cover that number going into the second half. Texas Tech more than capable of winning this game, though.
And by the way, Houston, top 5 at turning over, as we said. Texas Tech doesn't really turn the basketball over, so maybe they can fight some of those turnovers and get some easier buckets here. More action coming up next. Live hour number 2.